Hi. Welcome to Recap Stories. Today we are going to watch a movie named called Patchwork. The film begins with a surgeon who is conducting an unusual experiment with his team. The experiment was quite dangerous. However, the outcome revealed. Suddenly a girl on a stretcher awakes, and she comes to her senses. By attempting to move her fingers and toes, the girl is gradually improving. She had no idea what had happened to her and her body. She takes a step forward and picks her clothes, after which she sees herself in the mirror and taken aback after turning on the light. The girl bursts out screaming and collapses on the ground. She begins to experience excruciating pain, as she didn't understand what was going on and what is happening to her. Here, let me tell you the story. It was an experiment in which 3 girls' body parts were joined together. Obviously, this experiment would be dangerous, because the body parts of 3 girls' brains and even their faces were also joined together. The 3 girls introduce each other in that girl's brain. One of them was a short-haired girl. One of them was a beautiful girl. The third girl was named Madeline. They were claiming that their minds had been combined. With it, their body parts have also been joined together. All together named the experiment Girl V. That was created by combining 3 of them. Here, the experiment Girl V awakes and moves forward slowly. Her body was weak. Their body parts were not coordinating with each other. That's the reason Girl V was facing a problem in walking. Then she lays on a stretcher and 2 men arrive for checking her. As soon as the 2 men arrive to check her, V stands up from where she was and tries to run from there. And while running, she comes near the main door and tries to go out. But a member of staff notices her. He stops her from moving out. But V finally comes out after ending him. She runs and comes to the short-haired girl. Coming there, she sits on the sofa. Then the girls were talking in V's mind. What should we do further? Should we go back to the hospital? Or should we go to the cops and complain? No one will believe the girls because they have been the V experiment. Someone will really believe them. It is obvious none will believe on this weird experiment. The reason is they have no particularity and no identity of their own. The short-haired girl sees her hand. There was a man's finger attached to V's hand. She doesn't like it as she touches. The finger falls. Then she somehow joins the finger with her hand. Those girls were again talking in their minds. We didn't feel pain while doing this. Maybe we couldn't feel the pain after this experiment also. These girls were discussing they will feel pain or not. So they try to hit themselves in various places and injure themselves with a hammer. But they weren't feeling the pain in real. However, they were telling their story what has happened to them. The short-haired girl says, I was in my home when this happened to me. Suddenly, someone attacked me from behind. I didn't remember anything after it. Then the beautiful girl tells her story. I was in the garden with my friends. When I was leaving for my house, a car hit me. When I awake, we were together. It means we were combined. They were talking meanwhile. The beautiful girl says we need a doctor for all this. On it, the short-haired girl says I have a friend who is a medical student who may help us. My friend is named Jerry. Now the girls make themselves ready. They go to Jerry and tell him everything what happened in the experiment. Girl V tells Jerry, I have been made while joining the 3 girls. Actually, a surgeon has done an experiment on me. But Jerry doesn't believe her. Being upset, she leaves. The next day, after getting ready, she moves in search of the person who has done this experiment. That means the person who was responsible for all this. They were leaving after searching for him for an entire day and not finding him. Suddenly the 2 men who came for checking V arrived in the van. They were checking the short-haired girl's house with a torch. V was furious. She was beating one of the men badly. The other man stops her from doing this. He says, "We were not the part of this experiment. We were just performing our jobs. After this, the man tries to make V faint but he couldn't. The man runs from there seeing it. Meanwhile, the police arrive, and hearing the police siren V escapes from there. But while running she takes a file from the van, and reaches Jerry's house. Jerry notices her stitches and her injury. Then he bandages her. The next day, Jerry sees the file but couldn't understand anything. V watches the news on the TV. The police are looking into who she murdered yesterday. Suddenly, she feels an odor. She goes to check and notices Jerry was burning her file, which she stole from the car. The police are looking into who she murdered yesterday. V extinguishes the fire in the file and notices an address. V was abrasive with Jerry, so she ties him onto a bed and drives to the address. She reaches the place with an axe. As she steps in, she hits a doctor as she was furious. She divides his body into many parts. She ends him brutally. After which she comes inside and notices the surgeon. He becomes happy after seeing V. V becomes aggressive and tells the surgeon, "You did something wrong." And she attacks him with an axe she bought. However, the surgeon somehow escapes. Finally, he was happy after seeing V, as his experiment was successful. The surgeon says, "You wanted this. Now, why are you hitting me? Maybe this is happening because of your 3 brains." Being aggressive, V again attacks him. This time, Madeline stops them two from ending the doctor in V's mind. Madeline tells them, "We can't end this doctor, because our experiment is not complete yet." The short-haired and the beautiful girl were shocked, because they have no idea what is going on here. Here, Madeline tells them the truth. And she claims that I was the only one who came to see this surgeon, and wanted to be beautiful, so decided to have surgery. This surgeon showed me a dead body that he bought on the black market. But it was an old dead body, so I told the surgeon I would handle the dead bodies. "You just have to perform my surgery." Madeline was telling the lovely lady that she had seen her in a bar, looking pretty, and wanted to steal your beauty. "That's why I hit you willingly from my van." Surgeon also tells me about the short-haired girl I ended up with in her house. Following that, I turn over your dead bodies to the surgeon, so that he will perform the surgery soon. Knowing the truth, the short-haired girl and the beautiful girl attack Madeline in rage, because she used their body parts for making herself beautiful. That means she has ruined their life completely. She has also ended them with them. They fight in V's mind. Here Madeline damages the eye of the short-haired girl. Due to it, an eye of V comes out. Meanwhile, Jerry also frees himself somehow. On another side, the surgeon has tied V in the hospital. Now he was about to perform a new experiment with her. But then Jerry arrives at his clinic. The surgeon makes him faint. He drags him inside because it is obvious that he will do the experiment on him as well. Meanwhile, V somehow releases herself, and she has destroyed the surgeon's lab completely. The surgeon becomes aggressive after seeing it. So, he shoots V. But that bullet is aimed at Jerry, and he couldn't finish V because the gun was out of bullets. V moves forward in anger while taking a drill machine. Now she was about to end the surgeon, but the girls were fighting in V's mind. Madeline was still forbidding them from ending the surgeon. The beautiful girl was in anger, so she stabs the drill machine inside her. Seeing their fight, the surgeon thinks now everything will be fine. We will also end with those 3 girls. But there is nothing like this. Only Madeline was dead inside V. The other 2 were alive, so V is also alive yet. The scene then shifts and is shown after a few days. There was a man who looked like V who had awoken and was walking. Turning on the lights, he becomes astonished seeing himself in the mirror. That was none other than Jerry and the surgeon's concoction. Now V has combined them through surgery. V was also standing nearby, and she laughed when she saw her experiment. This film concludes with her smile. Thank you for watching. Kindly subscribe our channel for more videos.